everyone. Welcome to Out and About with Tom and Sherry.
I'm Tom.
And I'm Sherry. And if it looks like I'm crying, I'm not. Tom's making me laugh. But you'll have to watch to the end for the outtakes. We've been adding outtakes at the end of the video, so I hope you get all the way through the end of the video. So, anyways, this is our next video in our Grand Mediterranean Tour series.
Yep.
And
Mykonos.
This is Mykonos.
Mickey Mouse.
Mykonos, Greece. So this was one of our stops on our first cruise. We were on 2 cruises in the month of May 2025. So this was our first cruise, which was on the Norwegian Viva. And we stopped in Mykonos. And I think the big lesson for this stop is just a reminder that your ports can change and you can have bad weather on port days. And it kind of changes everything. So this is going to be a short video because that's what happened on this stop.
Yep.
In Mykonos. So.
But it was still a neat port.
Oh yeah, it was nice to see it and whatnot, but it was kind of cut short because of bad weather. So we'll get into that a little bit in the video. So.
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll get started, and as we've been doing, we're going to do the video in the video of us talking while we're all watching the video. So thanks for tuning in, and this is Mykonos.
Okay, here we are coming into Mykonos. So far the day is clear and sunny and nice. And like all these Greek islands, it always strikes me as someone who grew up in the Sierras with snow-capped mountains. And then you go to Greece with the white buildings. It makes me think of, at my first glance, it's like, I think snow, which is obviously not the case.
Yeah, it's just all the whitewashed
buildings,
houses and buildings and whatnot. So, yeah, so us coming in there, so. And we really didn't have any insight on what the day was going to hold when we first arrived. It wasn't really until we got off the ship that we kind of had a better sense of how the day was going to go.
But we didn't really have anything planned for this day. We were just kind of gonna relax, and that's what we did, and it was very nice.
Yeah, because Mykonos, we did know that we could walk off the ship, and they had said that there was a free shuttle bus to take you into the town. So we did know that ahead of time. So we didn't plan any excursions for this stop. We were just going to take the bus, go into town, and see what Mykonos was about. We had heard about some restaurants from some people back where we live had mentioned about some seafood restaurants and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we were looking for.
But another thing about Mykonos and that shuttle bus, the shuttle bus was really, I mean, it was nice, but it was really unnecessary. You could easily walk into town too. It wasn't.
Yeah, it was probably a good couple miles to walk into town.
Yeah.
So if you didn't want to do that. And when we got off the ship, it was really, really windy. And as we were coming off the ship, there were people who had gotten off the ship before us coming back to the ship. They hadn't been off very long at all. It was just super windy. So the shuttle bus actually was a motor coach. So just if you were going on a regular excursion, it was a nice motor coach. So I would imagine that is something they regularly have there in Mykonos. So this was after we had gotten off the shuttle bus, dropping us into town, and it was still a little bit of a walk, maybe half a mile, if that, probably.
If that, yeah.
Yeah, to walk into the town proper, but it's nice. It's right there on the waterfront, as this picture shows. They had some different informational booths about Mykonos that you could read along the way. So.
Yep. And you can see in that picture, you can see how windy it was, that flag.
Yeah, so anyway, so off we were headed into town.
And so we decided to stop and get some coffee. And we stopped here at the Townhouse Hotel for coffee. And I mean, really put no thought into it. It was like, yeah, this looks like a nice spot. Let's stop here.
And there were tons of options.
Tons.
I mean, there were little, restaurants and these little coffee houses and whatnot. But kind of what was kind of prompting this was kind of the first thing we did. Tom wanted a little more time on his laptop for
Oh,
some work emails and things like that.
that's right. I had some work email I had
Yeah.
to do that day, so I had to take take care of a little bit of work. I forget what it was.
Yeah, so we just grabbed one of these seats there up by the window. It had nice padded cushion seating and got a coffee. Tom got a coffee. I got a hot chocolate. And we sat there for, I don't know, maybe about 45 minutes,
Yep.
an hour, something like that. There was restroom in the little coffee house. It was very small. But
Yes.
what was neat was just, and you'll see a picture coming up, just watching everybody kind of coming and going in this little area there and just enjoying what this little town on the water on the Mediterranean was like.
This is what I enjoyed about it. These next few pictures, there was delivery people, obviously delivering stuff to the different coffee shops and cafes and stuff. And to me, it just felt like an authentic town with authentic people delivering stuff. And I like looking at the vehicles. And there's another vehicle coming up later, which I really like. But you go to someplace like Cannes, France, and you're like, yeah, I could never live here.
Mm-hmm.
But Mykonos was a place, that average income people could dream about living there. I likened it. I like stock car racing, and NASCAR is out of my league, but I likened it to the local dirt track racing of Greek islands, where anyone could have an achievable dream of living there.
Yeah, and like I say, it was just nice to kind of see the routine of all these little shops because as you see on either side of us, there's little restaurants, shops, and there were local people over on the right hand side having breakfast, getting together, older guys getting together, have their morning coffee, chatting about the day, I'm sure. So
Yep.
it just felt very comfortable and very relaxed environment just to kind of hang out and watch what was going on.
And this guy was cool. This guy pulled up. He was delivering, I believe it was ice, wasn't it?
I think so.
He was delivering ice on this little scooter with the ice chest on the back. And I told Sherry, man, maybe it'd be neat to move to Mykonos and I could get a job delivering ice. And we kind of evolved that idea, developed that idea. We could get some trays and Sherry could get home and staff the trays and I could deliver the ice. But he pulled up and the guy he was just kind of goofing around and he put his feet on the ground and gave the little scooter the gas and popped a wheelie. And it's just people out living nice lives is what that struck
Yeah.
me as. And that's what Mykonos was people just out living a nice life.
Yeah. Well, and clearly this is tourists, right? So this is
Yeah.
their routine of getting the day ready for all these tourists getting off these cruise ships,
Yep.
coming in and being able to offer these environments. So yeah, it was just kind of a little reflection into the activity there. And this is kind of as we were leaving that little coffee shop, walking down closer to the water. And because the weather it was really windy and it was overcast and it started to sprinkle a little bit. So it really was kind of limiting, some of the activity.
Yep. Yeah. And you can see in this picture, it's really starting to get overcast now.
So this is getting back down to the waterfront, walking down that little alley. And I put the arrow here that right below the arrow there is where the Norwegian Viva was. So just to kind of give you a perspective of where the cruise ship comes in at. And then that shuttle bus would drive you around just right along the coast here and drop you off. And then, like I said, you had to walk quarter mile, I guess.
Quarter mile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over to this area where you could do the restaurants and the shops and coffee and things of that nature.
Look at that cloud on the left-hand part of the picture. It looks like that little squall cloud. Mm-hmm. And I think we talked about that at the time. It looks like a squall over there.
But it wasn't too bad. We were bundled up. I had my hood on and whatnot. So again, just be prepared that this can kind of happen on your stops. And again, we were there in May. So this is one of the the whitewashed churches. All the buildings were whitewashed, as I recall, in that area. And you couldn't go into this church. I don't think it was open.
No.
that day because we kind of walked around it to see. So
And something we learned on some of the other Greek islands was people, there would be, the whatever, the Jones family chapel, and different families would have their own,
mm-hmm.
I guess, private churches.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
And they were relatively small.
they were very small.
These little family churches. But
Yep.
I don't know that that's what this was, but yeah, that was something that they talked about. So just kind of a little bit out on that point there that we kind of walked around to, kind of see what we could see. We heard, several people were heading back to the ship. I know some of the excursions that were going on boats over to other, beaches or other ancient sites and whatnot got canceled or headed out and then turned back as the weather just kind of progressively got worse that day. But we found a nice little bakery. This was a really nice bakery. And we stopped in there. Tom got, what'd you get, baklava?
I got baklava, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But it had all kinds of pastries, coffees, teas. It was very nice.
Yep.
And it had a large seating area here that people were just doing that, getting coffees, pastries, and whatnot. So it was nice to sit there.
And something I liked, and I noticed this mostly in Mykonos, was there's a lot of, masonry sidewalks and stuff. And here they kind of painted on white grout lines. It was just paint on the same surface. There was nothing special about the grout lines. And in the background up closer to the bakery, you can see that they just painted the concrete white and then put gray on there. I guess just to give them a look. They had a real consistent look all throughout Greece. So the whitewashed buildings and the blue and the wood, dark wood. It was neat.
In Mykonos, I don't remember seeing any blue. Everything was white in Mykonos. I don't remember seeing those blue tops and stuff.
I don't think I saw any in Mykonos either. Yeah.
Now that you mention that.
I don't think so. Yeah, it was all pure white.
So this shot is us. Like I say, the weather was getting progressively worse. And so we were like, okay, we're heading back. So this is us heading back to the shuttle drop off and pickup area. And they just kind of ran continuously.
Yep.
Through there is what was my understanding. So this is just looking back at that area that we were at. And there were a lot of little side streets with all the, tourist shops and shopping and things like that. So, again, yeah, all white. Some,
but to your point,
some windmills in there.
Some windmills, yeah. I don't really see any blue. It was all just white there.
Yeah. And we got back on the bus and we were heading back over to the ship. And again, just kind of a little bit of a view of the hillsides there that you drive past as you're coming to and from the ship.
You know what Mykonos didn't have was cliffs, like a lot of the other Greek islands.
Yeah, compared to like Santorini or something. So it looked like a really nice little peaceful community and stuff. And I know there were some really nice excursions and whatnot. But like I say, I know the beach ones got canceled, and I think a lot of the ship or the sailboat ones got canceled. So that was too bad, but it can happen. So
it's just a nice little working class island.
Yeah. So we enjoyed the time. We were probably off for what, maybe 2.5 hours
3
or
hours,
so.
Yeah.
At the most, kind of a thing.
More shots out the bus window.
And here's I was sitting in the very front of the bus, and so as we were getting closer to the Viva, I was able to get this shot through the windshield there. So again, just to kind of give you a little perspective of where the ship is at and what the Viva looks like. And so, as I said, the weather was kind of getting worse and worse. And so by the time the ship left, I think we stayed. I don't remember us leaving early from the port.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But that ended up being our one rough sea day that night.
Yep, that night was rough.
So by the time we left and headed out, and we were off to the next port, the seas were getting pretty rough, and I think I that night. Just kind
That
of,
was
we
the
went in
night
the,
you
yeah, we kind of went
kinda
into
laid
the,
low.
went to the room sooner than we normally did because it was rocking pretty good. So that's our Mykonos.
Yep.
Not a lot there, but like I say, it looked like a really nice town, and I'm sure the vast majority of the time it's probably good weather, but you just kind of have to be prepared in case it's not. But we made the best of it, I thought.
Yep.
Had the coffee, you got to do a little work on your computer, had some baklava.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's Mykonos.
My summary of Mykonos
Mm.
is a working class island and a nice place to go and relax.
Yep. Yep. Very good. All right. Well, that's it for this video. Like I say, pretty short on this one. So we still have more to come. I think our next one is Kadashi, Turkey.
Yep.
Is our next video, which is Ephesus. So we're looking forward to sharing that. That was magnificent. So if you're planning your cruise and you're going Mediterranean and you're going to Kadashi, Turkey, be sure to go to Ephesus.
Yep.
So that's next. And then the last one on this first Norwegian Viva itinerary stop will be Istanbul, Turkey. And we're really looking forward to sharing that one. We spent an extra 2.5 days in Istanbul. So that'll be next after Kadashi. And then we will start with our ports while we were on the Norwegian Epic, which was about a week and a half later after we'd gotten off the Viva. Yeah. So thanks for watching, and we hope you subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it with others. Like I said, we've got more to come and more ports. I think we've got about 7 more videos to go in the Mediterranean cruise. And then just a heads up too, we have some more cruises planned for 2026. So the cruising will continue.
It will continue.
So thanks again for joining us.
And if you have any questions, be sure to put them in the comments or comments. I'd like to hear more about other people's experiences in Mykonos.
Yeah.
And, comments that you might have. We'd love to see them, and we're pretty responsive about answering questions.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
And by we, I mean Sherry.
Yeah, well, depends on the question. Tom may be more inclined to answer. So again, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. I'm Sherry.
I'm Tom.
Thanks for watching Out and About with Tom and Sherry.
Ciao.
Bye. I'm saying first, I'm Sherry.
No, you say welcome to Out and About, and then I say I'm Tom and I'm Sherry. Because you gotta say, you can't say welcome to Out and About with Tom and Sherry, and then Sherry introduces herself first.
Okay.
Because that lacks continuity. But first you gotta go. All quiet on the set. Mykonos. Take one. Roll them. It's so funny. We do that at the start of every video.
I know. I'm saying, do you know that gets cut?
I still say it.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Out and About with Tom and Sherry.
I'm Tom.
And I'm Sherry. And I'm not crying. Tom's making me laugh. So, welcome to our next video in our Grand Mediterranean.
And now you can, at the end of our video, you could put in there what made you laugh.
All right, let's try.
People could watch till the end and find out.
All right, try again.